find out more. And it's more food today on Good Things because it is Tasty Tuesday and it is brought to you by PrimeShrimp.com. That's P-R-I-M-E, PrimeShrimp.com. It is your one-stop shop for the pre-seasoned, easy-to-cook shrimp. And the best part, it is delivered straight to your door. You can still use code GoodThings, all spelled out, for $20 off of your first order. So be sure to go to PrimeShrimp.com this week and use code GoodThings for that $20 off of your first-time purchases. And then if you keep purchasing Prime Shrimp, you earn points. I'm going to get it out. The shrimp, the points, all the things. And yeah, so it's the gift that keeps on giving and gives you more reason to buy more shrimp, which I think is a good thing. We were talking about getting distracted today, and I saw where Mike said he got distracted and forgot to thaw out the pork chops. You've been there. You've gotten distracted and forgot to lay out the meat or the chicken or whatever it was out of the freezer, and then you get time to actually go cook, and you think to yourself, well, what are we going to do now? Because the meat or whatever is not completely thawed and it's time to have dinner. The cool part is with Prime Shrimp, whether you get their signature seasoned or you get their Alfredo or you get their Cajun, New Orleans Cajun one.
Louisiana boil.
Louisiana shrimp boil. That's the point. You leave it in the freezer till it's time to cook it. And so they don't want it defrosted. It goes straight from the freezer into the boiling water. You do have to remember that you put the water on to boil. You can't get distracted there. And within 10, 15 minutes, you've got your lean protein to go over rice noodles in a taco on top of a salad. Ryno does better than I, coming up and using them in creative ways.
I actually did a little bit of an experiment this weekend with the Louisiana shrimp boil flavor, and it turned out really well. I was kind of surprised. I was going out on a little bit more of a limb thinking that the flavors might not mesh as well, but garlic is the great unifier. And the recipe I made is pretty simple. I did my shrimp, boiled it, took it out after 4 minutes, let it sit there for 2 minutes. Before I even got around to that, though, I was tinkering with a garlic butter sauce. And it sounds more frou-frou than it really is, because all I did was take a stick of butter, a couple cloves of garlic, and some seasoning, salt and pepper and that kind of stuff, and just melted the butter. And then let the garlic kind of
do its thing.
Garlic it up.
Do what garlic does.
Right. And then just had the shrimp, boiled some pasta, put the shrimp on the pasta, poured the garlicky butter over top of it. Ooh. It was so good.
And that was with the shrimp boil?
The Louisiana shrimp boil.
But that would be good, I think, with the signature shrimp as well. But I got
to get some more signature.
You got to get some more signature, absolutely. Well, you should do it. You can use your code GoodThings at PrimeShrimp.com or earn your points, and you can still save the more that you buy. But yeah, what is the fancy term at the restaurant when you buy noodles that have that perfect buttery sauce on it, but it's not really a sauce. It's not as thick as Alfredo, but it's not a red sauce, and they call it something. But it reminds me of that. And then
Scampi?
I think so. I think
Scampi you have to have lemon added to it or something, which that might have been the one thing it was missing. I couldn't quite get the seasoning right to do what I wanted it to do, but it still was great.
So if you would have just
had a lemon and squeezed over it,
to go over the top,
might have brightened it up a bit.
But I mean, so many kids just like buttery noodles anyway, and to think that you can change it into a little bit fancier term and put it on a menu. But then when you top it with something delicious like prime shrimp or whatever you're going to top it with, it changes the entire dynamic of the meal, which goes to show you really can have the most simplistic ingredients and come out with like the best dishes ever.
If you got a pot you can boil water in and a skillet that you can melt butter in, you can make garlicky, buttery noodles with prime shrimp.
Mm-hmm. And then feel like you did, and then go the extra mile and get you some Texas cheese toast, or have you that kind of like bread to go along with it to make you feel a little more authentic.
Oh yeah, you need some crusty bread.
You need some crusty. I was thinking of the breadsticks. That was the word that I was trying to get out. But Texas cheese toast, the kids never turn that down either, for sure. So I did get distracted, but I am in the process of cooking my crock pot meal that I was supposed to have done yesterday for you guys today for Tasty Tuesday. But I've really got my fingers crossed that it's going to be good. I won't say that it is until I try it. But it was just chicken breast, a can of condensed chicken soup, a pack of Italian dressing seasoning, and then a block of cream cheese. And so you shred, like you let it cook till the chicken's good, and then obviously it's going to make a sauce.
Oh, yeah.
You'll shred the chicken, ideally, and then you'll serve it, which you could also add for additional oomph would be the signature shrimp on top of it for sure. And you serve it over either noodles or rice as well. And so when I'm rotating out what good starch my kids, if it's not noodles, they'll always go for good rice, smothered covered in something. And so hopefully it will create what I think it will create, and it will be a good, nice, rich, but not too, it's not like it shouldn't be like the chicken and rice casserole,
right.
Although I feel like it's going to have similar consistency and flavor profiles. But the Italian seasoning kind of threw me off, so I don't want to say whether it's a home run or not, but I can always report back on Tasty Wednesday for you tomorrow with it.
From the 601, were we talking about bechamel sauce?
Well, it's very possible, but that's not a vocabulary word I've ever come across. And so I think I was thinking more of shrimp scampi, where it's like the angel-haired noodle, like the angel-haired pasta. It's real light, and it's basically shrimp just swimming in butter, draped over noodles, and it's not Alfredo, it's not whatever. You usually get it at, like a seafood kind of place. It's more of like I don't know, something, it changes it when you use angel hair pasta. I don't know what it is. It feels fancier when you use the angel hair pasta over the good old spaghetti pasta.
Oh, yeah. I mean, even I choose thin spaghetti over regular spaghetti because it's closer to angel hair.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like if I use angel hair in spaghetti, I'm doing something wrong.
Well, then it feels like, because if you overcook angel hair pasta, it kind of gets like a little little mush, and that's not cool. You kind of have to cook it. You can't get distracted.
You got to pay attention.
You do have to pay attention to it, which is a terrible thing to have for me in the kitchen with the kids at home. So the spaghetti noodle's a little bit more forgiving. But when you do and you do it right, see, something that delicate though doesn't need anything so heavy as like a spaghetti pasta, I wouldn't think. And so the shrimp scampi, it sounds like would just be perfect for that particular noodle. Thomas and Greenwood, I don't know what we're looking at, but it looks absolutely delicious. It's some kind of meat. Aaron in Meridian says garlic bread. I don't know about you, but in our house it's Texas cheese toast or Texas toast. We call it that. I mean, it's the brand, and I guess that's, here's your free advertisement. But garlic bread to us is the Texas. I think you grew up with either one. Either your mother pulled out the long Italian bread that as a kid you really enjoyed being able to pop the two apart to put in the oven. You found that very fun, like you enjoyed it. Or she pulled out the Texas toast and flopped them on a pan and put them in the oven as well. And you almost ate it with everything.
My mom was a big fan of the take and bake, where you go to the grocery store and they got the big long Italian bread with cheese and everything in it. Yeah, you just take it home, pop it in the oven.
So she had her mind set on what was coming up immediately.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't think that far in advance. See, I would get distracted and then the bread would never get cooked. But if it's frozen, then it gives me that little bit of buffer time into actually using it. And two, like those sticks of bread or even the Texas toast, you have stopped and opened up your freezer and you looked and you're like, what can I pair with that? Because my kid's probably going to eat 2 pieces of that anyway, and that's going to be 80% of what they choose. Let me throw something else on a plate so I can at least say I tried to feed them something other than just a glass of milk and Texas toast. But let's be honest, that's the best part of the meal anyway.
Aaron and Meridian on the C Spire text line chimes in with another great thing with shrimp is grits and shrimp.
Yes, and so I feel like, too, we are missing the opportunity to have simple shrimp and grits at home with you would do the signature with that, I would think. And you could whip up just a good old grits, normal grits. We've talked about that before here on Good Things. I mean, you can take grits as an open canvas or a blank canvas.
You say that, but now that I think more and more about it, that shrimp Alfredo over grits might be pretty good.
I would not try it. Jimbo, shrimp scampi is butter, lemon, wine, and garlic. You forgot the wine. Does the wine go?
I don't think I even have a single bottle of wine in my entire apartment.
Jimbo, does the wine go in the recipe or next to the recipe? Because that would be two totally different ways Ryno and I would use it. But don't forget to go to primeshrimp.com, PRIME shrimp.com. Use code GoodThings. You will get $20 off your first order. Rack up points so you can continue to save and keep Tasty Tuesdays coming your way. But stick with us. We got more for you up next.